53,390 fans. They couldn't clap this way. They had to clap this way. There were so many of them in there. The largest regular season turnout in Reds history for Johnny Bench night, Saturday night. And I got to give a tip of the cap to the Cincinnati Reds. Gentlemen, well done. Whoever was in charge, give that man a tip of the cap. I'm sure Roger Rule had the biggest part to do with it, but it was well thought out, well handled, and I certainly wish I could have been there. I had no choice in the matter, but it was a celebration. I had a guy call me this afternoon from Wilmington who was at the ball game on Saturday night and said that there were 9 minutes of standing ovations for Johnny Bench. That's without the second inning dramatics. But 9 minutes of standing ovation probably is not enough for a guy who has contributed what he has to professional baseball. But then in any one single night, 9 minutes of standing ovations, that's a bunch. We're talking a lot. It started last night with Saturday night with a simple introduction by a guy who has introduced Reds baseball players. Every home baseball game that Johnny Bench has played in, with the exception of one, you'll recognize the voice. This is the way it went Saturday night. It's certainly worth remembering.
Presenting the catcher of the Cincinnati Reds, one of the greatest players ever to wear a Reds uniform, number 5, Johnny Bench.
Johnny, you sure know how to make a mother proud.
He helped put my name on the map. He did more than that. He probably was the one that biggest responsible for it. But two great moments. My first one was in Clearwater, Florida in 1970. We were playing the Phillies, our first exhibition game, and he saddled up alongside of me in left field. He said, hey, just relax. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot of fun from here on out. That was the first time. The second great moment was he hit the home run against Pittsburgh in the playoffs of 72 to tie it up in the 9th inning, and that still remains my greatest memories of John. But more than that, I think tonight I'll miss it. I'm at Fenway Park, and I'm not going to be there, but I wish I could be in that stadium and nobody even know that I was there and be one of the lucky people, because the people in Cincinnati do not realize how lucky they have been to see the greatest catcher that ever lived and ever will catch again. They will never see it in their lifetime, and they have had it in their city. They can be very proud tonight. They can be proud of this man because he was a class person.
Johnny, I've called a lot of home runs over the last 13 years, but you certainly had a flair for the dramatic, the one that nobody in this city will ever forget. On that drizzly Wednesday in October of 1972, with the playoffs tied 2 games apiece, and with the Reds batting in the bottom of the 9th inning, and with Pittsburgh leading 3-2, and with Dave Justy on the mound, and Johnny Bench at the plate. And 2. The line. And a pitch to Bench. Change hit in the air to deep right field. Back goes Clemente. At the fence. He's done. Johnny Bench, who hits almost every home
The man who described that memorable home run with a very memorable description is here with us in person tonight. Let's welcome back the former voice of the Reds, now with ABC Television, ladies and gentlemen, Al Michaels.
All I know is that when I first met Johnny and he asked me to be the co-host on his television show in 1971, I heard him sing for the first time, and that's when I thought to myself, I hope this guy can catch. Well, he caught all right. And the greatest thing is you have done everything with such dignity. A man who has redefined a position, the only one of our generation who has done that. Much success. God bless you.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes! As a former baseball broadcaster who remains a confirmed fan, I have long been an admirer of your technique and competitive skills. For much of your career, you have been the standard by which other catchers are measured, both at the plate and behind it. The game is going to miss you, and so will I and all your fans. Congratulations on a great career, and best wishes for a wonderful evening. Signed, Ronald Reagan, President of the United States.
I would like to present Johnny with this genuine gold record. It's on the No Hit Records label. And it says, presented to Johnny Bench, not for 1 million sales, but for singing Bad Bad Leroy Brown 1 million times.
Over the past 65 years, I've seen some pretty good catchers. Mickey Cochran, Gabby Hartnett, Roy Campanella, Yogi Berra, and Johnny Bench. It'd be hard to pick the greatest. But if I had my choice of all these truly great catchers, it would have to be Johnny Bench.
Here with us tonight, from his home in Little Rock, Arkansas, is a former baseball great who, like you, Johnny, caught 100 or more games for 13 straight seasons. He had a career average of 313 and played in 8 World Series. He's the catcher people most often compare you with, John. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Hall of Famer Bill Dickey.
This is one of the greatest honors that I can have. For this man to be here tonight, a legend, a Hall of Famer, 1,300 game seasons. I admire and respect this man so much, and I feel very honored that he's taken the time.
For the Johnny Bench Scholarship Fund, ladies and gentlemen, from the Fun Bunch, the baseball bunch Johnny works with, $5,000.
John, your time in baseball with the Reds uniform is about the same length of time that my brother and I have been owners of the Reds. John, many thanks for some great memorable moments here at Riverfront. Thank you very much.
John, in my 4 decades of baseball, I've seen a lot of talented players and associated with some fine people. It is no understatement that when I say that I remember you as one of the greatest players I've ever had play for me or have seen.
Johnny, here are 3 people you've become very well acquainted with over the last 16 years, Bill and Jim Williams. And the man who was general manager of the Reds throughout most of your playing days, and now back as the Reds president, Bob Howsam.
Johnny, it's a great pleasure to present you this check for the Scholarship Fund, the Johnny Bench Fund of $25,000.
This is great. This is great.
Seeing all the golf balls out here, we have here a trip to Scotland for a golfing trip to Scotland for 2 weeks with a partner, and I'm asking you to take me with you. And I want to see you in those knickers with stirrups.
Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, one of the greatest players the game of baseball has ever known, Johnny Bench.
Thanks to my friends for being here today, for taking the time to come out and join us today. I'm here because I love you. I chose to stay in Cincinnati for one reason. That's because I love this city, I love the fans, and because I was fortunate enough to be a Cincinnati Red. You have made this day complete. You have made it better than I could have ever written a script for. I thank you so much. My family thanks you. I appreciate you. And I'm going to try like hell to play good for you tonight. Thank you.
The 0-1. Swung on and hit well to left field. Get out of here, baseball! It's gone! Oh, my God, can you believe it? Johnny Bench has tied it up. A Amazing. Absolutely amazing. He makes the tour, and I'll tell you what, you can't write anything like that. Absolutely amazing. I don't believe it. What more can you do to cap an evening off? He is getting a hero's welcome. Well, you would certainly realize that in the Reds bench, but the Astros, some of them on their feet, and this is absolutely amazing. I mean, a line drive. It was one of those no-doubters if it's high enough. And it was high enough. And it's tied 2-2, and John out of the dugout and waving to the fans. My, oh my, oh my. Well, if anyone could write that script, it would be worth a multitude of dollars.
Though it's sad to say goodbye, those memories of number 5, they'll live as long as baseball in America. Heroes come and heroes go. Not this man from Oklahoma. We shared Johnny's dream each day, 'cause on the road to Cooperstown, he only made one stop along the way.
What a weekend. What a baseball game. It's a shame the Reds could not have won. It was 4-3, but it was no fault of Johnny Bench's. I would have had one request, and that simply is at the point when John Bench in the third inning hits the 2-run home run, he simply takes himself out of the lineup, walks to Russ Nixon and says, look, don't put me in again. Please, don't put me in again. I would like to finish my career with that home run. Wouldn't that have been something you and I would all remember? Did you get your certificate from the Reds? I was there. 53,390 of you. That was a night certainly worth remembering. And it's not over. Apparently tonight on Channel 5, there's another special on Johnny Bench. What's left to say about him? I'm sure they'll find something. Don't you agree? But you've heard me say this before in this program. How does he do that? I mean, does he pay opposing pitchers to throw him a fat one? No. How does he do that? That was a line drive out of there and a real victory lap when he hit the home run. Terrific. But he should have quit there. He should have never walked to the batter's box again. But then maybe the next time it happens, before this season is out, he'll hit one over the fences and then call it quits. That would be something, and probably the only way Johnny Bench should go out.